Hello, and welcome to this edition of Lift Every Voice, a program of the Louisville Branch NAACP, through which we seek to inform our community as to the works of the NAACP, to brief you on current issues that we're addressing, and to keep the community fully informed. We believe that an informed community is a community that can be active and it can address problems and issues in our community. The NAACP Louisville branch has been around since 1912, so we're an old organization in terms of our longevity, but we're a new organization in terms of that we're always renewing ourselves to address the current issues that face our community and our environment. We've been involved in a number of issues. The NAACP mission includes a component that says we're working for educational justice, educational opportunity for all individuals, and we have been very active around the area of education in the Louisville community. If you look back over our history, we were involved in the original desegregation of Louisville schools, the combining of the Jefferson County public schools with the Louisville City schools. We've been involved with student assignment, making certain that our kids of color, kids of African American descent, get the best that JCP has to offer in terms of where we go. We've been involved in superintendent searches, uh, having input into the process and into the selection of superintendents. And of late and really throughout our entire existence, we've been involved in pushing student achievement and closing the achievement gap. That continues to be a very, very tough problem in our school system, and we're still working towards it. We've been involved in the establishment of JCPS two new schools of program, the W.E.B. Du Bois Academy and the Grace James Academy. And our members are in regular attendance at school board meetings, whether those are in person or virtually. And so we're involved in a lot of things with a very big focus on education. But one of the bigger ones, or one of the more impactful ones, has to do with scholarships. And we have a scholarship committee and where it is involved with the awarding of scholarships by the Louisville branch NAACP. So today I am pleased to introduce my guest, Dr. Bonnie Marshall. Dr. Marshall is a community, local, and state educator. She has over 30 years of experience. She's a lover of students and the learning process. She's worked with the University of Louisville and Kentucky Department of Education. She's worked to increase the number of minority teachers, counselors, principals, superintendents in Kentucky. She's worked with the Kentucky State University Teacher Education Program to create this district-led secondary alternative route teacher certification program. She's worked with the Louisville Black Achievers Program and with the Lincoln Foundation in terms of their educational program focused on teacher prep and identification initiative. So you can see Dr. Marshall has a very distinguished background of working in terms in the area of education, and she is now the chair of the Louisville Branch NAACP Scholarship Committee. So welcome, Dr. Marshall.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me and giving me the opportunity to talk about something that is near and dear to my heart, our students and helping them to navigate the financial system of the colleges that they choose to attend. So thank you.
Okay, so Dr. Marshall, how long have you been involved in the NAACP? You're an old line member of this organization. So how long?
Oh my goodness. Let me start back. Central High School, Lyman Johnson kind of pushed things there. Went off to college and wasn't actively participating. Came back and joined, but I was what we call in church a pew member. You pay your dues, but you don't do anything. You just pay your dues and carry your card and say, I'm a member of the NAACP. And I don't suspect that I'm the only person who does that, but it's not a proud thing in my life. But that's what I did. In 2004 or in 2005 or seven, I became very active. And Catherine Wallace asked me to help and work with the scholarship committee, the education committee. So that's when I became a member and became very active and felt like I had something to offer that would benefit our students. So all my life, I've been a member.
Okay.
Since 2005 or 7, I've been an active member.
And now you're chair of the scholarship committee itself, which is, and I think that we can all say the branch is very, very appreciative for you taking this leadership role in regards to what's doing it. But tell us, what does the scholarship committee do?
The scholarship committee does all things scholarship. We make the scholarship application available. We facilitate requests for corporate sponsors. We work with the schools to get the information out there. We work with churches to disseminate information. We make decisions about amounts that will be awarded to students. We communicate with the colleges that students choose. Um, Facilitate a celebratory reception for the students. We communicate with the parents and we prepare information for the media. So, all things scholarships, we do.
Okay. So what is the aim of the scholarship program and the awards that you make? What's your goal and your objective?
Our real goal is to assist students with easing some of the financial burden of going to college. We don't have large sums of money, but if we can help students pay for some of the bills that arise when they attend college. So we want to sort of bridge that financial gap of helping them to get into school and pay for things where that won't be a major worry.
Okay. So how long has this scholarship program for the Louisville branch been around?
I can't give you a definite number there, but I know that one of the scholarships, the NAACP has the trust set up through the Salome C. Worthington. Mrs. Worthington died in 57, and the trust was set up. So we've been around a long time. I'm going to say the 50s, I know.
Okay.
Might be further back. So
Okay. So in this period of time, or at least in the time you've been, how many scholarships have been awarded over this period?
over the period since I've been involved, uh, I'm going to say over 350, closer to 400. But in the amount of money, 142,000, just about.
Well, we know that this past year, for at least for the students who entered college in the or went back to college in the fall of 2020, you awarded $30,000 to 30 students.
Yes.
Okay. Um, I guess given where it is, and you're seeking to be impactful to address the financial need of students who apply, how did you measure the success of the program?
We measure the success through, of course, the number of applicants, the number of students who come back and reapply, the number of students who do well and go on to graduate from college, the collaborations that we form with colleges and universities, and of course, collaborations through the school district, churches, and other organizations. So we measure success in many ways. The amount of money that is brought in where people contribute to help with the cause, but the biggest measure for me is that students start, they continue, and they finish.
Okay.
And about Raymond, about 80% of the students that start reapply. I'm thinking that around 70% of them that apply, because these are good students, complete and go on to do what they wanted to do.
Okay. So how many scholarships are awarded each year?
That depends on the amount of money we have.
Okay.
We receive money from the trust based on the interest there, and the McDonald's corporate scholarship, and the money that is contributed from private institutions and private individuals. So it all depends on the amount of money that we have. On average, I'm going to say 20 students a year on average. We've had more and we've had less.
Right, that's correct. As I said earlier, for 2020, there were 30 students who were awarded. Um, so, as you say, the number of scholarships that are able to be awarded is directly tied to the funding of the scholarship. So let's talk about how the scholarships are funded, and there are various means and organizations who fund those. Let's talk about those.
Okay, let's start with the two NAACP trusts. We have the Salome Works. Said Salome. Some people say Salome. So take your pick.
Yeah.
But we have the Salome C. Worthington Scholarship. That person was a teacher in the Louisville City Schools and left a trust. And we use scholarship money from the interest on that. The other NAACP scholarship was the Levi Alexander. From the information we have, he drove a coal truck, but valued education so much that he left money for the education committee to support students. And in addition to money, he also left some land. These are people who loved education and loved what education could do. The other scholarship, we have a corporate scholarship, which is McDonald's,
Okay.
Kentuckiana owner operators. Every year since 2003, I believe, 2005, I'll say, the McDonald's Corporation has given $10,000.
And that's the minority McDonald operators in this area that does that. And let's emphasize that it's the minority McDonald operators who have made that scholarship possible and continue to do that.
And they continue to do that. And to date, they have given $145,000 and 110 students have received money. They are committed. They work with us. They help us to identify the students, and they always come to recognize the students. The fourth scholarship we have is the Marshall Family Scholarship. 2016, Catherine Wallace introduced that as another scholarship, and this was one that is funded through contributions from the community. Since 2016, that scholarship has given over 31 scholarships and over $35,000. So it depends on it's growing every year. We make requests every year, and those are the ones that we have. Another one that's out there that has been around for years is the Kaufman and Kaufman Graduate Scholarship. That one was funded through a retired teacher counselor from the Louisville City Schools. And that one is for graduate studies, well, really for a terminal degree in 3 areas. And Raymond, correct me if I'm wrong. That's law, medicine, and religion.
Religions, those 3 areas. Yes.
Those are the 3 areas. So those individuals seeking those terminal degrees, we also have the Kaufman and Kaufman that now the branch is going to be managing. Before it was managed, I think, through the bank.
Yeah. And I think one of the things we ought to emphasize as it relates to the Kaufman is for those 3 disciplinary action areas for graduates. But what the thing has happened is in the past that was not managed directly by the Louisville branch, and now in the future will be managed by the Louisville branch. And one of the things we want to emphasize is getting individuals of African American descent and students of color who are pursuing a medical degree or its equivalent, a JD of its equivalent, or a Doctor of Divinity of its equivalent, to in fact apply for that scholarship, because we have not had the numbers in terms of applicants for those that we should, given our number of students who are enrolled in various schools. So we've talked about, you want to add into that, Bonnie?
Yes, I would like to add one thing. Given what you just said, the scholarship committee has committed to now interacting with those schools in the university area to identify students who would qualify, because it's not really widely known that this money is here.
Hmm.
So our job then becomes to go out and make the students in these colleges and schools aware of the information.
Which leads us into, I guess, the next question is, who is eligible for all of these scholarships? We talked about who was eligible for the Kaufman and Kaufman, but the others that we've named, who is eligible?
The people who are eligible for scholarships must be citizens of the United States. They must be citizens of Metro Louisville. They must have the undergrads that we're talking about now. They must have a GPA on a 4-point scale of at least a 2.5. They must have two letters of recommendation. It was three. I think we're down to two now. Two letters of recommendation. Show financial need, which is a big portion of it. Show financial need. An essay. That's the part I forgot. They also have to write an essay, and this essay deals with, once I receive funds from the scholarship, how am I going to give back to the community? So that's a big piece of it also. Other things that we look at: involvement in your school and community, work experience, and membership in the NAACP. You do not have to be a member of the NAACP, but it's favorable if you are. So those are the things that are required for people to enter. So any of the students out there who meet those qualifications, we ask you, please apply. We would love to be able to help.
So tell us, how does one apply?
One applies by going on the website, the Louisville NAACP website. Scholarship information is there. Complete the application and all of the components that go with it, and send it electronically to Bonnie Marshall. And there's the email address. All the information at one time. We don't want bits and pieces, entire packages. Our deadline date for submission is June 15th. Any applications coming in after that will not be considered. So, and we're doing strictly electronic, really because of the COVID uh, virus that's out here now. The committee does not want to handle a lot of papers coming from many different directions and homes and wherever. So electronically is how we're handling it this year.
Okay. And I noticed on the chart pulled up that if there's a question that anyone has, there's a phone number on that chart as well, on that page as well, as for people to call to get additional information as it relates to that. Okay. The scholarship committee and the branch are doing a fantastic job in terms of making scholarships available. We have various funding mechanisms, and these have to be funded. So the question is, are you open to contributions from the community?
Oh, no, we're closed. No, absolutely. We are open for donations. In fact, that's one of the reasons I agreed to be on here today, because I'm a background person.
Okay.
But we need contributions more this year than ever because of the financial need that has been the impact of the virus on many homes. Many of our students that I'm talking to are speaking things like, I want to go, but I can't put that burden on mom and dad. I can't do it. We need to help. That's what the NAACP Education and Scholarship Committee should be doing. That's what we want to do. So we need your money, your checks. Nothing is too small. My granddaughter sent me a check for $20 because she wanted to help with this cause. So any amount of money that is donated is greatly appreciated.
So how does one make a contribution to the organization? What's the process for that?
The process is to take out your checkbook, write Louisville NAACP, whatever amount. On the memo line, designate Marshall Family Scholarship. That money goes directly into the scholarship fund, and we give a receipt and we invite you to the reception as we do that. So basically, write a check, we respond to you with a receipt, and we use that money. Every single penny goes towards scholarship. Nothing is taken out for operations or anything else. We don't even pay for the reception. The NAACP as an organization pays for that. Any money given to help students goes to the students.
So, as for those folks, you told them how to write the check, and if you're writing a check, and what you need to do is, after do that, is mail it to the Louisville branch NAACP, which is at 1545 Catalpa Court, Louisville, Kentucky 40211. So you can mail the check to the Louisville branch office itself, or you can drop it by the office as well. So in terms of,
Or you can also, on the request form, or you can also mail it to my address, because I give the money to the treasurer, and that way we have a running record of what we have. So either way, mail it to the NAACP, drop it by the NAACP office, or mail it to Bonnie Marshall, and that address I have on the applications. So there are different ways to get the money into the accounts.
okay, so we know that, and I think I may have misspoken. The address is 1245 Catalpa Court, not 1545. 1245 Catalpa Court if you're going to mail it to the office. One of the things that Bonnie mentioned was that every penny that is donated goes directly to the scholarship fund, goes directly to the scholarship that award the student. So the branch keeps none of the funds for administrative purpose or any of those. All of the cost for the operation of the scholarship, or for a scholarship, actually goes to that. One of the things that I noticed, Bonnie, I went to the national convention a couple of years ago, and the national convention has a scholarship program as well. And while sitting there and they were giving out the scholarship, as they read out the scholarships and the amount, and I totaled up the amount that they were awarding, is that you Catherine, and the scholarship committee here in Louisville were giving out more on an annual basis than the NAACP national organization gives, the national organization itself. So you're to be commended for the work that you're doing and the things there. There is anything else you'd like to tell our viewers about the scholarship fund, or anything else you would like to leave them with?
I would like to leave our viewers with, we need you. We need your support. Don't just be a pew member, become active, volunteer to help, support. Um, just get involved. Just get involved and support our students, because they need us right now. That's what I'd like to leave us with.
Well, thank you. Thank you, Dr. Marshall, for being our guest today, talking about the Louisville Branch NAACP Scholarship Committee and the scholarships that are awarded. As Dr. Marshall has said, and one of the things that she didn't say, she is a volunteer, and everyone on that scholarship committee is volunteer. The work of the Louisville branch is completed through by volunteers. We have no paid staff. So therefore, your contributions and what you make, what you give to the Louisville branch NAACP, goes directly to helping students or helping functions in which we're engaged in. And being a organization founded on the principles of advancing and helping education, this scholarship opportunity allows us to do that. And as I mentioned earlier, we're a totally volunteer organization, and our work is done through volunteers. So if you would like to volunteer, you can do that by calling the Louisville Branch NAACP office at 502-776-7608, or by emailing us at louisvillebranch@lounacp.org, or by visiting our website at lounacp.org, or by visiting us on Facebook. Our Facebook page is at Louisville NAACP. And of course, you can always visit the office at 1245 Catalpa Court. So in addition to making the contributions that you're willing to make to our scholarship program, we also would like you to get involved in terms of volunteering for the organization. But we also would like to have membership. Our memberships are all all available to all the public in terms of what you can do. And the membership types are: we have regular memberships. Regular adult memberships is $30 on an annual basis. Youth are $15 with the Crisis Magazine, $10 without. WIN committee is the women's organization, women's in the NAACP, and that's an additional $10 though. So we have regular annual memberships. For those who are interested, we also have lifetime memberships. You can have a junior life, a bronze life, silver life, gold life, or diamond life, whatever fits your contribution level or your involvement, because it is through memberships that we're able to do. And for the corporate community who would like to join us in terms of in supporting the work of the NAACP, that is in fact a $5,000 contribution annually to the organization. The NAACP is a very active organization engaged in helping to make our community a much better place. And what it takes to be able to do that, it takes all of us working together. And when we work together as a group, we can lift every voice. Thank you.